You wake up, and the first thing you feel isn't excitement, it's anxiety, that pit in your stomach, the tightness in your chest, the noise in your head. But here's the truth. You don't have to carry that into your day. You don't have to let anxiety run your morning or your life, because anxiety is often not about the moment you're in. It's about the moments you keep replaying, or the ones you keep dreading. This morning, you have a choice. You can fix the pattern, not with perfection, but with intention. Start with your thoughts. What you say to yourself before the world even speaks to you. That's the power center. Speak calm. Speak order. Speak control into your morning. You don't need a miracle. You need a method, and the method begins with movement. Move your body, even for 5 minutes, because motion changes emotion. Then breathe. Not the shallow kind, the kind that grounds you, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You're not just surviving, you're training. Next, get honest with yourself. What's truly bothering you, don't shove it down. Write it down. If it has a name, it can be managed. You don't fix anxiety by ignoring it. You fix it by organizing your chaos, by building routines stronger than your worry, and habits tougher than your doubt. Start your morning by feeding your mind something good. Read something powerful. Listen to something uplifting. Remind yourself you are not your panic. You are your pattern, and your pattern is in your hands. This morning is not just another start. It's a shift. It's a decision to take your peace back. One thought, one breath, one action at a time. Anxiety often shows up first thing in the morning. Don't ignore it, address it. It's quiet outside, but inside your mind, the noise has already begun. Before your feet touch the floor, the thoughts are racing. What if I fail today? What if I mess up? What if everything goes wrong? You haven't even started your day, and already you feel like you're behind. That's not weakness, that's human. But it doesn't mean you have to stay in that state. You have a say in how your morning unfolds. You don't have to be a prisoner of anxious thoughts. You can be the architect of your peace. It begins with awareness. Notice it. Don't deny it. Anxiety isn't your enemy, it's a signal. It's telling you something's out of alignment. Listen to it, then move beyond it. Start by breathing with intention, not just shallow breath. Real, deep, conscious breathing. In through the nose, hold out through the mouth, 3 times again. Let the breath speak louder than the panic. Then sit with yourself, not in fear, but in curiosity. Ask, what am I really worried about? What's the truth behind the tension? Write it down if you have to. Get it out of your head and onto paper. Because when it's visible, it's manageable. Your anxiety wants you to avoid, but your growth demands that you face. Don't check your phone yet. Don't open the floodgates of the world. This time is for you. Drink some water, stretch, move. Even 5 minutes of movement can disrupt the loop of worry. Your body holds the stress, but it also holds the power to release it. Now speak to yourself, not from fear, but from strength. Say, I am calm, I am in control. I'm not defined by this feeling. This is temporary, and I am steady. You may not feel it fully yet, but say it anyway, because the morning isn't about waiting for confidence. It's about building it. Your anxiety may not vanish completely, but it will lose its grip when you take the wheel. Structure your morning. Routines replace chaos with clarity. Choose what you do next on purpose. Eat something nourishing. Read something empowering. Listen to something that uplifts your spirit. Don't let the first voice you hear be the one that doubts you. Let it be the one that believes in you. Anxiety shows up, yes, but it doesn't have to stay. You are stronger than the panic. You are wiser than the fear. And you are absolutely capable of meeting this day, not in survival, but in strength. You control your inner voice before the world has a chance to influence you. Before the noise of the world gets loud, your mind is quiet enough to listen. And in that silence, you get to decide the tone of your day. You get to be the author of the first words spoken to yourself, not the headlines, not the emails, not the opinions of others, but your own voice. And that voice can either lift you up or tear you down. It can either plant fear or plant faith. It can whisper doubt or declare purpose. That choice is yours. Every morning, before the phone lights up, before the demands start pulling on your time, you hold the pen. You choose the story you're telling yourself. You choose the lens through which you'll see the world. If you don't program your mind, the world will do it for you. And the world rarely programs peace. It's full of urgency, noise, pressure, comparison. But when you start from within, you build a shield. You remind yourself who you are before someone else tells you who you're not. You affirm your worth before someone questions it. You define your priorities before distractions take over. The inner voice is the foundation of every action. It shapes your posture, your mood, your energy, your choices. And the beauty is, it's under your control. It starts with awareness. What are you saying to yourself in the first 10 minutes of your day? Are you kind? Are you focused? Are you honest? Or are you critical, reactive, anxious? You can shift that right here, right now. You don't need a perfect script. You need truth. Tell yourself, I am grounded. I am capable. I choose clarity over chaos. I'm not chasing approval. I'm standing in purpose. Speak it with belief. Even if it feels awkward at first, speak it anyway, because repetition builds conviction, and conviction builds direction. The world will test your confidence. It will throw distractions, doubts, and noise your way. But if you've built a strong inner voice before stepping into it, you walk in stronger. You don't chase stability. You carry it. You don't beg for peace. You bring it. And it doesn't require hours of preparation. Sometimes it's just a few words that change everything. A decision to start your day from power, not panic. From gratitude, not scarcity. From alignment, not approval. Seeking your voice. Your real voice is your compass. Use it, trust it, let it lead before the world even gets a chance to speak. Because when you anchor yourself early, the storms of the day don't shake you as easily. And when you rise with intention, the rest of the day starts to fall into place. Replace fear with intention, not perfection. Perfection is a moving target, a standard that keeps shifting, a voice that says, you're never enough. And fear loves that game, because fear feeds on the pressure to get it all right. Fear says, don't start until it's flawless. Don't speak until it's perfect. Don't try until you're guaranteed to win. But here's the truth. Perfection paralyzes, it delays, it distracts, it demands the impossible. What you need is not perfection. What you need is intention. Intention says, I'm not waiting to feel ready. I'm showing up because it matters. I'm not aiming for perfect. I'm aiming for progress. Fear makes you freeze. Intention gets you moving. Fear sees the mountain. Intention takes the next step. Fear imagines every way it could go wrong. Intention focuses on one way to make it right. When you shift from fear to intention, everything changes. You stop obsessing over the outcome, and you start engaging with the process. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what can I learn? Because intention isn't about controlling everything. It's about directing your energy where it matters most. It's waking up and deciding, today I'm going to be focused. Today I'm going to act with purpose. Today I won't let fear write the script. That decision, repeated day after day, builds momentum. You don't need to be perfect to make an impact. You just need to be present. You just need to be aligned. Because when your actions are driven by intention, they carry power. Not because they're flawless, but because they're true. Let go of the need to look right, sound right, be right every time. That's the trap. That's the fear talking. Instead, ask yourself, why does this matter? What do I value? What direction do I want to go? Then act from that place. Your life doesn't change when everything is perfect. It changes when you start doing things on purpose, when you stop performing and start aligning, when you stop waiting and start choosing, when you stop hesitating and start living. Fear will always be around. It whispers doubts. It warns you of failure. It tries to keep you small. But intention stands taller. It says, this is what I came here to do. This is who I want to become. This is the life I want to build. And it's built one intentional act at a time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step with purpose, even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if it's scary, because intention moves mountains. Perfection just stares at them. Motion changes emotion. Move your body to shift your mind. When you're stuck in a spiral of negative thoughts, the fastest way out isn't thinking harder. It's moving. Your body is not just a vehicle. It's a trigger. It stores energy. It holds stress. And it can release both if you let it. You weren't meant to sit still in anxiety. You weren't meant to freeze under pressure. You were designed to move, to act, to shift your state through action. Because the way you move affects the way you feel. It's hard to stay discouraged when you stand tall. It's hard to stay hopeless when your blood is flowing. It's hard to stay afraid when your lungs are full of air and your heart is pumping. Motion wakes up the mind. It resets your nervous system. It sends a message to your brain that says, we're not stuck. We're still alive. We're still in control. It doesn't have to be an hour at the gym. It doesn't have to be perfect form or perfect timing. It just has to be movement with purpose. Stretch, walk, breathe deeply, lift something, dance, run, step outside. Even 5 minutes can interrupt the storm, because when the body leads, the mind follows. Stagnation leads to frustration, but movement creates clarity. When you sit in your thoughts too long, they grow heavy, they multiply, they echo. But when you move, you disrupt the pattern. You prove to yourself that you're not trapped. You're not helpless. You're not at the mercy of your mood. You are in charge. You are the one who decides what happens next. When your shoulders are slumped and your head is low, your brain starts believing something's wrong. But when you stand up straight, when you lift your chest, when you take intentional steps, your brain gets a new message. It says, we've got this. It says, we're not backing down today. It says, we're choosing strength instead of fear. You don't wait for motivation to move. You move, and the motivation comes. You don't wait to feel better to take action. You take action, and the feeling follows, because you were built for forward motion. Emotion is energy in motion, and when you stay still, that energy has nowhere to go. It builds up, it weighs down, but when you move, you give it an outlet. You clear space for new thoughts, new strength, new peace. The mind and body are not separate. They are partners in your progress. So when the day feels heavy, when anxiety creeps in, when your focus fades, move, get up, take a walk, shake off the tension, breathe with purpose. Remind your system that you're not frozen. Because when you take control of your body, you take control of your state. And that's how change begins, not in the mind alone, but in the movement. Deep breathing resets your nervous system and creates control. When the world feels fast, when your heart races and your thoughts spiral, the most powerful thing you can do is something you've been doing your whole life, but with intention. Breathe. Not the shallow, hurried breaths that come with stress. Not the unconscious breathing that slips by unnoticed, but deep, slow, grounded breaths that speak directly to your body and your mind, in through the nose, hold, out through the mouth again and again. Because when you breathe with intention, you send a signal. You tell your nervous system, we're safe. You tell your mind, we're steady. You tell your emotions, we're in charge. Anxiety can't survive in a body that feels calm. Stress loses its grip when your breath deepens. Fear begins to fade when you take control of your breathing. Your breath is the only part of your nervous system that you can control directly. And when you do, it begins to control everything else. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, your muscle tension, your focus, your clarity, it all begins to shift, and it doesn't take hours, it takes seconds. Just a few slow, conscious breaths can take you from chaos to calm, from overwhelmed to present, from reactive to responsive. You don't need a new place. You don't need the perfect environment. You just need to pause and breathe, right where you are, right in the middle of whatever you're facing. The breath is your anchor. It holds you steady in the storm. It brings you back to the moment. It grounds you in the now. So much of your stress lives in the future. What might happen? What could go wrong? But your breath lives here, in this moment, and this moment is manageable. This moment is real. This moment is yours. Breathe in strength. Breathe out fear. Breathe in peace. Breathe out pressure. Your breath is not just air. It's control, it's awareness, it's power. When life feels like it's happening too fast, your breath slows it down. When your thoughts feel like they're spinning, your breath centers them. When everything outside is uncertain, your breath creates inner certainty. This is your reset button. This is how you return to balance, not by changing the world around you, but by calming the world within you. It's simple, it's free, it's available anytime, anywhere, but you have to choose it. You have to pause, you have to stop the rush, you have to reclaim the moment with a breath, because every deep breath is a reminder that you're not powerless, that you're not broken, that you are in control of how you respond. And in that space between inhale and exhale, you find your strength. Identify what's bothering you, name it, write it, face it. Anxiety grows in silence, stress multiplies in the shadows, and fear feeds off the unknown. The things that trouble you the most are often the things you avoid the longest. You push them down, you distract yourself, you pretend they're not there. But just because you ignore it doesn't mean it disappears. It stays, it lingers, and it whispers in the background of your thoughts. It shows up in your mood, in your energy, in your sleep. That's why the first step to freedom is honesty. What's really bothering you? What's the weight you've been carrying but haven't named? Maybe it's a conversation you're avoiding. Maybe it's a decision you're afraid to make. Maybe it's a regret from the past or a fear about the future. Whatever it is, it needs a name. Because when you name it, you take away its power. When you name it, it becomes a problem you can face, not just a feeling you run from. So slow down, get quiet, turn off the noise and turn inward. Ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling right now? What triggered this? What am I really afraid of? And don't rush the answers. Let them surface, then write them down, not for anyone else to see. Just for you. Put your thoughts on paper where you can see them clearly, because in your mind they swirl, but on paper they settle. You can start to make sense of them. You can see patterns. You can ask better questions. Writing creates distance between you and the chaos. It gives you perspective. It allows you to process instead of panic. Once it's written down, you can face it. You can look it in the eye and say, "You don't own me. You don't define me. You're just a feeling, not a fact." And from there, you begin to take back control. You might not solve everything overnight, but naming your stress is the beginning of clarity. Writing it down is the beginning of order. Facing it is the beginning of courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to walk forward with it anyway. When you face what's bothering you, you stop being a prisoner to your thoughts. You become a leader of your mind. You show yourself that you are not fragile. You are capable. You are strong enough to meet your inner world with honesty. And that honesty becomes your healing. So whatever you're carrying today, bring it into the light. Name it, write it, face it, because what you don't face will chase you, but what you face, you can rise above. Establish strong morning routines that reduce internal chaos. How you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Before the world makes demands, before the distractions come in, before your schedule gets loud, you have a window of clarity, a space where you get to choose structure over stress, order over overwhelm, presence over panic. That's where your morning routine matters most, because chaos doesn't always start outside. It often starts inside, in your mind, in your habits, in the way you begin each day. When you wake up with no direction, no rhythm, no plan, your mind fills in the gaps with anxiety. It starts asking questions like, what did I forget? What do I have to fix today? What if I fall behind? But when your morning is built on intention, you don't just wake up, you rise with purpose. You don't just react, you lead yourself forward. Your routine doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours, built to support your peace, built to guide your focus, built to anchor your energy. Start small. Start simple, but start the same way every day. Maybe it's waking up and breathing deeply before anything else. Maybe it's drinking water, stretching, or reading something that lifts your mind. Maybe it's journaling, or sitting in silence, or praying, or reviewing your goals. Whatever grounds you, make it a habit, not because you're trying to be productive, but because you're trying to be present. A strong morning routine reminds you that you are in control, not of everything, but of something. And that something builds momentum. The world moves fast. People will pull you in every direction, but your morning is yours. Protect it. Don't start your day by scrolling through the lives of others. Start it by checking in with your own. Ask yourself, what do I need today? Where is my focus? What matters most right now? When you answer those questions early, you walk into the day with intention, not confusion. You act from alignment, not pressure. You respond instead of reacting. Internal chaos comes from disconnection, disconnection from self, disconnection from purpose, disconnection from peace. Your morning routine reconnects you. It recenters your mind, it rewires your focus, and when life throws challenges at you, you'll face them with a steadier heart because your day didn't start in panic, it started in clarity. It started in rhythm. It started with you taking responsibility for your mental state. The routine doesn't have to be long. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be consistent. That consistency is what calms your nervous system. It tells your mind, this is familiar. This is safe. This is how we begin. Over time, it becomes a foundation, a source of strength you return to again and again. So don't leave your mornings to chance. Design them, protect them, and let them work for you. Because when your morning is strong, your mind is clear. And when your mind is clear, you are ready for whatever the day brings. Feed your mind positive content. What you consume shapes your mood. Your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. Whether it's fear or faith, doubt or discipline, negativity or hope. What you feed it is what you feel. Each day, from the moment you wake up, you're consuming something. Words, images, sounds, energy, and all of it leaves a mark. All of it shapes your internal world. If the first thing you see is conflict, drama, fear, or comparison, don't be surprised when anxiety starts to rise. Don't be surprised when your energy drops and your focus scatters, because your mind becomes what it repeatedly takes in. It mirrors the input. It absorbs the atmosphere. But the good news is, you have a choice. You can choose to feed your mind with intention. You can choose to start your day with strength, not stress, with gratitude, not gossip, with learning, not noise. It could be a powerful quote that sparks your thinking. It could be 5 minutes of silence to hear your own thoughts. It could be a book, a podcast, a motivational video, or scripture. It could be a conversation with someone who speaks life, not fear. Whatever it is, choose something that lifts you, that grounds you, that challenges you to grow, because your thoughts don't just show up randomly. They are influenced. They are shaped by what you give your attention to. You don't rise in life by feeding your mind with junk. You rise by fueling your mind with truth, with courage, with clarity. If you constantly consume negativity, your mind will echo it. If you constantly consume distraction, your purpose will fade. But if you consume wisdom, you grow. If you consume encouragement, you heal. If you consume vision, you move forward with direction. So be intentional. Guard the gates of your mind. Not everything deserves your time. Not everything deserves your attention. If it drains you, cut it out. If it distracts you, set it down. If it disrespects your peace, leave it behind. You can't expect a calm life with a chaotic feed. You can't expect inner strength while watching outer conflict. What you see, what you hear, what you read, it all builds something in you. So ask yourself, what am I building today? Am I planting seeds of hope or seeds of worry? Am I feeding my strength or feeding my fear? Every small choice matters. Every scroll, every click, every word you listen to. And over time, those choices shape your perspective. They shape your attitude. They shape your mood, your momentum, and your mission. So when you wake up, don't just reach for your phone. Reach for something that feeds you, something that reminds you who you are, something that connects you to your values, something that speaks life into your day. Start your morning with light, not noise, with direction, not distraction, because what you feed your mind in the morning echoes all day, and when you feed it well, you become well, not by accident, but by design, not by reaction, but by choice. You are not your anxiety, you are your habits and your choices. Anxiety is something you feel, not something you are. It's a signal, not an identity. It might visit your life, but it doesn't define your life. You are not broken, you are not weak, you are not stuck. You are human, and humans feel. They hurt, they worry, they fall. But they also rise, they grow, they change, and the way you rise is through your decisions. Through the small, daily choices that begin to shape a different future. Because anxiety may knock on your door, but it's your habits that decide whether it stays. Your morning routine, your thoughts, your environment, your reactions. These are the tools. These are the levers. You're not at the mercy of your emotions. You're the one holding the steering wheel. It starts with how you speak to yourself. Are you fueling fear, or are you reinforcing strength? It continues with what you repeat. What you practice every day becomes who you are. Anxiety wants repetition of worry, but habits can be repetition of calm, repetition of focus, repetition of progress. When you choose to breathe instead of panic, that's power. When you choose movement instead of staying frozen, that's strength. When you choose to journal instead of bury your thoughts, that's healing. Those choices matter because over time they rewrite your story. They create new patterns in your mind, new rhythms in your body, new belief in your heart. You don't eliminate anxiety by force. You outgrow it through action. You become someone it can't control anymore. Someone who sees it, acknowledges it, and still moves forward. Someone who knows that a bad moment doesn't mean a bad life. Someone who doesn't confuse emotion with identity. Anxiety may visit, but you are not its home. You are something far more powerful than what you feel in a single moment. You are the sum of your discipline, your choices, your focus, your effort. You are not your panic. You are your practice. You are not your fear. You are your fight. And every time you choose courage, even quietly, you chip away at the control anxiety has over you. Every time you stick to your routine, even when it's hard, you remind yourself you are not powerless. You are building a different foundation, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. You don't have to wait to feel ready. You don't have to wait until the anxiety disappears. You act, you move. You build because you are not meant to live in reaction. You are meant to live in creation. You create your energy. You create your boundaries. You create your peace, and it doesn't take perfect days. It takes consistent ones, so when anxiety whispers, "This is who you are," you answer back, "No, it's just a feeling. I am not what I fear. I am what I choose, and today I choose differently." Fixing anxiety starts with a small, intentional morning every single day. Not a grand transformation, not a perfect schedule, but a quiet, steady decision to begin with purpose. Anxiety thrives in chaos. It grows when the first moments of your day are filled with confusion, distraction, and pressure. But you can change that. You can choose to start differently. before you reach for your phone, before the world rushes in, before your thoughts start running wild. Pause. Take ownership of the first few minutes. Not to impress anyone, not to accomplish everything, but to build inner stability. That's where change begins, not in giant leaps, but in small steps. Wake up with awareness, not just to open your eyes, but to open your mind. Breathe deeply. Feel the air fill your lungs. Let that breath remind you. You are alive. You are here. You are grounded. Start with stillness or silence. Let your mind ease into the day instead of rushing into it. Anxiety waits for you in the noise, but peace is found in the quiet. You don't need 2 hours of routines. You need 5 minutes of intention. 5 minutes that belong to you and only you. Sip water slowly. Stretch your body gently. Whisper words that affirm your strength, your clarity, your presence. Write down a thought, a goal, a feeling. Release what's heavy. Don't let yesterday's worry bleed into today's potential. This is your reset, your chance to reclaim control before the outside world demands it. You don't fix anxiety by waiting for it to go away. You fix it by creating a rhythm stronger than the noise. One that says, I know who I am. I know what I need. And I will lead myself today. Some mornings you'll feel tired. Some mornings you'll feel doubt, but the routine stays because the routine anchors you. It tells your nervous system, this is familiar, this is safe, we know how to begin. And each day you do it again, your mind begins to trust you. Your body begins to relax, your focus begins to return. You are teaching yourself that peace is not an accident, it's a habit. It's something you choose and build even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. This morning you can start. No need to wait for motivation. Start before you feel ready. Start before the doubts disappear, because what matters is the act of beginning, showing up for yourself, again and again. The anxiety may still whisper, but your actions will speak louder. They will remind you you are not lost. You are not helpless, you are not broken, you are rebuilding, and it starts here with a small, intentional morning. Every single day. So tomorrow, when you wake up, don't wait for peace to find you, create it. Don't wait for the day to feel easy, make it intentional. Your healing, your clarity, your strength, they begin not in some distant future, but in the quiet power of how you choose to start. Because the way you rise each morning determines how you stand through the rest of the day. And when you own your morning, you start owning your life.